So I was talking to someone last night about, but Dubai, isn't it really expensive to live there? He's never been. Nice guy though. And he wasn't saying it as a negative, he was just saying it as his perception and actually wanting some more information. And it can be really expensive. You can do it extremely well. And a lot of things are not as expensive as the UK. I think a lot of groceries and food, if you go to the right places, are much cheaper. My wife was out there a few weeks ago. She met her parents out there. They went and looked at a property for me. There was a convenience store within that property, that building, and they were buying like a bottle of Coke or whatever for 50p. So it all depends where you go and where you shop. And things like fuel is like 25% of the cost as it is in the UK, and obviously there's no tax. But there is some watch outs which are unavoidable in Dubai, which do increase the cost. If you live in an apartment that you own, service charge is extremely high out there. Now, some areas have higher service charges than others, like the Palm is more expensive than other parts of Dubai. But even some buildings can be next to each other, but they can be double the service charge. And I was talking to an estate agent friend of mine out there on a service charge of a property that I'm looking to buy, which I think is high for the area, but it's next door to a landmark hotel, which is twice the price. But for a 3-bed apartment in Dubai, which costs around £500,000, the service charge is like 8 grand a year. You know, that's a huge amount. That's a lot of money every year for service charge. And you could say, well, you know, doesn't that include the utilities? It doesn't include in any utilities. It includes the standard stuff that you would get in an apartment in the UK. Apart from it's got a pool, it's got a gym, but the pool and gym is pretty shit, to be honest with you. I don't think it's worthwhile. So that's a lot of money, but it's kind of accepted. This is another reason why renting in Dubai does sort of work, because when you rent, you don't pay the service charge. And the rent in this building for a 3-bed apartment is expensive. I think it's 60 grand a year. So, you know, 5 grand a month, that's a lot of money for a 500 grand apartment. That just goes to show that's actually a really good deal. But some of these apartments where they're like 30 grand a year rent for a 3-bed, and the service charge is 8 grand, maybe a bit less, let's say 6. But your net cost actually is not 30, it's like 24. So rent on a £500,000 apartment. So that does make sense. So there is things to watch out for in Dubai. Things are expensive. Internet is expensive. It's like 80 quid a month. You get super fast internet out there, don't get me wrong. My Starlink is 75 quid, so it's kind of the same cost. But if you're used to paying 30, it's not going to be the same. Mobile phones, I think, are expensive out there, but I've got a really good package on my UK where even if I spend